We're live! Holy cow. Welcome, everybody, to Save or Die Season 2 Glory. My name is Cody with Taking20, and we have a magnificent cast with us today. We have the magnificent bastard Jim Davis with WebDM. We have the one and only Jonathan Pruitt with WebDM. We have Dave Friant with Nerdarchy. And, of course, we have our new D&D sex icon, the man behind the screen, Will Jones with Encounter Roleplay. Without further ado, I give you guys Jim Davis.
All right, guys. You guys went a whole season without hearing me promote our sponsors, and our sponsors really help us out. We cannot do this without them, and so we need you guys to go out there and support them and show them some love, the same love that you show us week after week. Our sponsors this season are going to be ThinkGeek. We got the holiday seasons coming up, and now's the perfect time to peruse their wares and get something for that geek in your life. We've also got Shapeways. This episode is sponsored by Shapeways as well, and they are your go-to destination for 3D printed dice, miniatures, and more. And of course, we have Pyromancers with Dungeon Painter Studio, all those amazing maps last week. We've got them for you this season as well with Dungeon Painter Studios. And so if you need a map or just looking to expand your map making skills, check them out. And then, of course, Fantasy Grounds, which is our go-to tabletop of choice when we are playing virtually with our friends across the world. And so check out Fantasy Grounds if you need to do a little online gaming there. All right, there we go. We're ready to game and ready to we're hyped up.
Gosh darn, now I know what season one was missing. That sponsor call out.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, I'm pumped.
All right. So I don't know what to do next, Cody.
Let's give it over to Will Jones. Let's let everybody hear this D&D sex icon.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Yes, my name is Will. I am a D&D sex icon. It's official, and I'm here today to premiere the second season of Save or Dice Glory. Very excited to be here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and for making this possible. So I'll talk a little bit about, I'll talk a lot, about the world in which we'll be playing, first of all, because we are not playing in the Forgotten Realms, so you might be familiar with playing in a homebrew setting of my own. And then I'll do a little introduction to our game itself. So the world in which we'll be playing is called Penumbra. It's a homebrew creation. I've been playing it for a couple of years now. It's featured on the podcast that I do. And it's a dark, low fantasy universe, which has a lot of similarities to medieval Europe, settings like Game of Thrones or the Witcher universe. On the giant island of Penumbra, there are three main bodies of land: the Midlands, the Dwarven Passes, and the Marshlands. Each faction has its own religions, wars, and woes. We won't go into too much detail here because we want to explore the world along with you guys. You'll be learning along with the players. So I haven't given the players a ton of information, just about enough to get a feel for the world that we'll be playing in. But a couple of important points. It's a low magic world, which means that real magicians are incredibly rare and by no means accepted by society. They are not outright hunted and killed, but due to their sheer rarity, they are shunned by society. There are a few groups of legal mages known as lodges, but they must be careful to avoid mobs, lynch mobs, and if they have any real power, that is questionable. Now, our characters, some of them are an exception to this rule, but that's because they're heroes on Save or Dice. They're special. Big thing is that the Emperor keeps the peace. The largest and most powerful kingdom which we're going to be dealing with is known as the Midlands. It's ruled by humans and its Emperor Godfrey. He rules over a feudal empire with barons, dukes, duchesses, known as the 100, because there are always 100 of them, mostly related by blood or service to the Emperor. Whenever one of them dies, a relative takes their place as a 100. They swear fealty to the Emperor, who is the closest thing to a god figure in this society. And it's accepted that the gods themselves have left Penumbra centuries ago. Now, these people in this campaign are not modern people. Life here is cheap. People might live to 40, 50, maybe 60 years. And as such, they don't have modern opinions. There are some parts of life that are accepted in this time that are not accepted in our own. And things that we might see as wrong today, the people of Penumbra don't have the luxury to consider. So don't hold them or the players' characters to today's standards. But did you guys want to mention a giveaway before I dive into the story itself here?
Yeah, absolutely. We still have our Dungeon Painter Studio giveaway going on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and link that down here for you guys right now in the chat. It's also, if you guys are watching later on YouTube, I'll put that down in the description box for there as well. Let's go on another week. We're going to give away 4 keys to Dungeon Painter Studio. So if you like all the maps that you guys see here on the show, last season, this season, you got a chance to win. It's totally free to enter. You can enter like Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. There's like a whole bunch of different ways you can enter. So whatever floats your boat, you can get in that competition, and we'll give away 4 keys next week.
Great stuff. All right. So enter into that, guys, and without any further ado, I will head into our very first session of Save or Dice Glory. So, a twisted carcass of thorns, the countryside on fire. The people of Penumbra had spoken, and their message was clear. We tolerate despot rulers no longer. What started as a minor insurrection 2 years ago in the marshlands grew like a wildfire into an all-encompassing civil war. A rebellion led by the heroine, Marilyn Slait, battled against the Emperor's forces for the rights of the common man. For only Godfrey could control the 100, and he would not. Thus, the War of Thorns began. Peasant farmers took up arms, even those in the Emperor's army defected to join the cause. Soon, Marilyn Slait had amassed a competent army, one capable of taking back the old forts of the marshlands. Battle after battle, Slait and the army of Thorns outwitted their arrogant rivals. But at what cost? Brother against brother. Father against son. The war claimed more than just blood and sinew. A scar was cut into the heart of every man and woman in this land. It looked as though the rebellion would be a success, and that the Emperor would be forced to act, giving peasants the right to own land. That was until the spring came, and with it the forces of one Sir Wenton. A battle-hardened and genius tactician, Wenton crippled the army of Thorns in a series of bitter defeats. They were pushed back to their last bastion, Fort Howlester. It was there just 10 days ago that Wenton defeated the last shred of rebellion. The rebels were butchered, hung, drawn, quartered, or ripped apart by horses. Perhaps they were the lucky ones. The ringleaders, 4 unlucky bastards, along with Marilyn Slait, are being brought to the capital city of Ostwald to await a particularly sticky end. Their fate is not one I would place upon any foe's shoulders. Only darkness and misery can await. No redemption, no justice, no glory. The man finishes his address to the fervently listening crowd before sighting a band of knights moving into the north. The crowd breaks, anxious not to be sighted listening to this demagogue in the streets. A nearby trumpet blare distracts the knights' attention as the main gate opens and a procession of victorious knights blaze into the capital, prisoners in tow. Black and yellow heraldry signals the arrival of Sir Wenton, riding in on a black stallion, dark hair flowing handsomely. Behind him, drugged and bloodied, are 5 figures. A tall, gruff human man who has clearly seen his fair share of battle. A small, diminutive kobold being kicked along by his captors. Strange elf with nobility behind his eyes now fallen. And one of the elder race, the Asuma, rare beyond measure. Dragged behind them, lagging behind, is Marilyn Slait. A crown of thorns shred into her scalped head, and a band of thorns wrapped around her feet bite into the bloody stumps with each step. The crowd jeers and throws stones at the group as they proceed. And I'd like to get into some character descriptions of each of you as you are being dragged through the capital city right now. So why don't we start with our host, Cody? Talk to me a little bit about your character.
So, Calium is a bit of a strange elf. He has some strange tattoos and markings along his body, but what you see when he's being drugged is his beautiful flowing cape with a brazen purple torn and muddied, and he's just been beat down, and you can see that he is probably not really coherent as to what's going on at the moment. He's cuffed as he's kind of being dragged along and paraded down the middle, and he doesn't seem to be walking in any type of pride, more like a beaten animal that is just at his last day.
Absolutely. Let's move over to Jim.
All right. So Ajax is in the lead here. He's clearly a man who's lived a rugged life on the roads and battlefields of Penumbra, and he has a spark of defiance in him, but he also bears many bruises and bloody scars from the beating he sustained over the last 10 days. He keeps trying to peek over his shoulder at Marilyn Slait, and just to see if he can't do anything, but he needs to see her and at the very least bear witness to what's about to happen.
All right, David.
So Wyrme is the tallest, lankiest kobold you ever seen, almost serpentine in appearance. He's got malted scales, and right now he's walking with hood, trying to hood his eyes and protect them from the sunlight that's beating down and blinding him. Everything is just a blur, and he animal noises just keep issuing from his hissing and crack, and what words come out of common, they're almost intelligible, and anyone who pays attention closely can hear him. It wasn't my fault. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Brilliant. And last but not least, Pruitt.
Vadin is he's an SMR, so he's looks very otherworldly. His skin is pale and almost looks like marble with like blue streaking, and he's 6'5". He's a pillar of a man. He's lanky but statuesque, and his scowl never really leaves, and he walks at a deliberative pace, regardless of how much he's prodded forward. This is a man that moves at his own pleasure.
Absolutely. The knights drag you all forwards. If anyone falters behind, you'll receive a quick kick. If you're lucky, perhaps even the butt of a spear, if less. Marilyn Slait is dragged behind a group of you, and as she's going, she'll notice Ajax looking back to her, and she says, "Don't falter. Keep going. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine."
He nods grimly and ducks his head beneath the rotting vegetables and rocks that are being pelted at him.
Yeah, absolutely. There are crowds jeering at you, hundreds lining the streets, perhaps thousands, to see the end of this rebellion. And as alluded to by that demagogue, this is a war which became more than it was initially. What was once a minor insurrection for a good cause became a fight which engulfed a whole region of land, thousands of people, tens of thousands, to the point where even if they may have backed the rebels, at some point the peasants are now just happy that it's over, and they need some heads on some sticks to end this for them, and so that they can recover. Now, as you are brought forth, you see the huge bell tower of the capital city above you, signaling the home of Emperor Godfrey. And as you are brought forth, at this point, the knights are having to block off the crowds because they're trying to get really close to you, throw rocks, even kill you guys. It looks like rip you apart by these mobs. So the knights barrel forth and open up these huge double door, almost gates, there's a portcullis on it as well, into this opening chamber within this huge bell tower construction, which is almost as large as any castle. And as you are let inside these hallowed steps, a silence falls upon you as the doors are shut. The crowds behind you are shut away, and you hear even more screaming outside, but it's become more muffled. And as Sir Wenson and his procession lead you forwards, you enter into what seems to be a grand hall with plush stones and plush kind of carpets down here as well. There are scenes on the walls on paintings of the emperor himself, an image that you'd be familiar with as is on every coin in the land and on all heraldry. He is an old man, and you actually see him before you as you enter into this chamber. A rare honor indeed for any normal peasant that you'd never see an emperor. And for those of you in the know, and some of this is rumor, it's rumored at the very least that Emperor Godfrey has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So he is a god king in the eyes of the peasantry. He sits before you withered and old, balding underneath his long robes. His eyes are sunken, and his skin is flaky and almost coming off from his face. He seems ancient beyond measure. The knights, there are 20 or so of them in this, highly armored, and they push you guys in along with Marilyn Slait before kneeling before the emperor. He looks upon you with pale blue eyes, almost colorless eyes. And I'd like to know your reactions to seeing the emperor. Is there any form of deference at this point? Is there rejection, outright hostility?
Wyrme throws himself at his feet on the ground, on his belly. Please, Emperor, please. It's a mistake. I tell you, mistake.
The emperor looks towards Sir Wenton, who says, "There is no mistake. The name Wyrme is fitting for one such as this." And the emperor nods slowly.
No, Ajax is going to have to be brought to his knees.
Yeah.
He's seeing the emperor for the first time. It's like, this is unnatural and disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
He just like grits his teeth and prepares for what he assumes is a beating.
Yeah.
Calium is struggling just so hard to kind of just focus as to what's going on. Something is so wrong. He's angry and fearful and doesn't understand what they did to him to just get him so out of it. He's trying to focus his mind on what's going on, but it's like being too drunk and not being able to just have a good grasp on his own motor skills. So he's just kind of and kind of falls down to his knees when one of the guards comes up and pushes him down.
Yeah. And Pruitt.
I have the same stoic mask I had out in the crowd, being pelted by various refuse and rocks. Just stare at the emperor and just kind of like, someone who would bring about this much misery just doesn't even deserve contempt.
Yeah. The Wenton takes by his side of the emperor in a kind of protective manner, and you see the Emperor Godfrey begin to move to speak. Like, it's a physical movement that he has to make in order to be able to sit forward and speak to you. And he says, "You all fought with honor. You must be commended for that." And he stares at you with these almost lifeless eyes. He looks at you, but it's like he's looking through you.
And Ajax mutters under his breath. He's like, "We shouldn't have fought with honor. Maybe we wouldn't be here right now."
Wyrme curls into a ball, almost like a serpent trying to eat his own tail.
It is a shame that you have brought such strife to my lands. I am sorry for the fate which awaits you. You don't see any mercy in those eyes, no sorrow.
And what fate will that be?
He says, the peasantry, they need their release. The release, the only kind which comes with the removal of one's innermost organs and entrails. So Wenton smirks.
And get on with it. Stop this toying about.
Marilyn can barely speak at this point. The crown of thorns and wrapped around her feet, bringing her down to her knees. And he says, "Is this one first? We will do one a day, I think. Keep it going a little bit." Good. And he dismisses you, all with a gesture, and Wenton nods immediately and grabs Marilyn by that crown of thorns. The gates are thrown open once again to the baying crowd being held back with the heavy tower shields of the guards. And you watch on in horror as you see Marilyn being brought outside. They hold her like so, almost in a crucifixion position, I suppose, but not up on any pole. They dive in with the two men dive in with these big thorns, look like rose thorns perhaps, or even grown, added in with some extra metal there. They proceed to rip out her lungs, which creates this sound, and they dive in and pull out the lungs so that they become almost like wings. And this horrific act of barbarism happens before you. And she is then lifted up onto a pole. And from that point, she is placed on display in that kind of blood-eagling position. And that's one of the most horrific acts that any of you will have seen. You've heard that that's what they do to rebels who get caught, but this is a special treatment, you know. And you are taken away after you are made to watch this, and they will blindfold you, bags over your heads, and lead you down into a prison area, which will take you about an hour to get to. It's clearly not within this complex itself. They lead you through another part of the city until you awaken in dark, dank cells. This is the equivalent of the highest security, like least cared about prison that you could possibly hope to get. This is rife with disease down here. They don't clean out buckets of filth. They throw the food into those buckets of filth and make the prisoners eat it from there. There are several guards stationed. You guys are in individual cells next to one another, so you can feasibly speak to one another, but there's one source of light, and it's down the end of a corridor, and you've been chucked in, and you're pretty sure they threw away the key.
No, we got to get out of here. We got to escape.
Can you climb through these bars, Wyrme?
I'll examine the bars in the cell.
These are half pin barrel hinge. No. The bars themselves, I mean, you would need, they look like pretty strong cast iron. If you had your components with you, you could totally dissolve through these and be out. The problem is that you guys don't have any of your equipment with you.
Right.
You could slowly work away with your kobold teeth on them.
Curses! I could be out of here in seconds if I just had some tools.
If you can weaken them enough, I might be able to break them.
With what? Kobold spit?
It's not caustic. I thought your spit was caustic.
You're thinking of serpents.
Ajax broods for a while.
So, and for those listening as well, because we've talked a little bit about this behind the scenes, the characters all know each other at this point. So they have fought in the War of Thorns together. They've got pre-existing relationships one way or another. So they're not meeting for the first time here. But Calium, you're starting to come round a little bit. None of you guys have access to that strange, loads of you have magic, strange sense of magic that you usually have. The drugs that they've used on you clearly are enough to be pretty effective. They have been fighting against you for 2 years. They figured out that these ringleaders have got something special going on with them. but it's starting to like focus back on where you are, and you realize where you are, what's happened, and that you're with your companions.
This place is awful. It dampens my magic. But at least the food is good.
Wyrme, you always could find the silver lining. At least you have that going for you.
Did I hear right? One a day?
One a day.
I hope I am at least last.
I hope I'm first.
Yeah. Get it over with.
Unless you want to starve here for the next 3 days.
At least if you're alive, there's hope. There's a chance you can escape.
I'm sure many have escaped the Emperor's prisons. Vadin, what? I can't focus. I can't. Something is wrong. Are you having the same experience?
Yes, I am. It is unsettling.
They dampen the magics somehow. Cannot feel the matrix.
One of the guards down here, who looks like the lowest paid guard that you'd probably hope to run into, and the least caring as well. He's a paunchy gentleman with a greasy beard. Comes over and rattles on the cages with his sword. He just swings out his sword. Like, it must blunt the thing. Like, but he just kind of crashes it against it. He's like, "Shut up in there, you lousy scabs."
What are you gonna do? Kill us?
Well, yeah,
Tell
eventually.
him, Wyrme.
Eventually we will, I guess, yeah.
We will. Yeah, I can see that you've clearly killed many, haven't you? With that little knife you're holding.
Just so happens I have. I simmer down.
Oh, really? How many? How many men have you killed?
I would wager at least 2.
You think that many?
Just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
He's a bit round in the middle.
Maybe one and a small boy that turned him down.
Yes.
He dives away from the jeers and goes back to sit down on his little stool, letting you all simmer down a little bit, as he put it, or rot in the jails. So as far as you guys are aware, it's probably about afternoon 3 to 4 p.m. at this point. There isn't any natural light coming down, but that would be your best guess from when you were outside.
Ajax tries to get some sleep.
Can I make an intelligence check to see, or maybe an Arcana check to see what I think might have, what might have happened to us? Like what this effect is, because I'm gonna try to miswalk out of here and kind of see if I can't focus my mind to move to the other side of the bars.
Yeah, absolutely.
An 11.
It's someone is beating away like super heavily at my door. It's some kind of restrictive effect. Can I leave you guys bounce off each other for 20 seconds? There's aggressive banging.
Aggressive banging. All right. Go handle the aggressive banging.
Oh, where is your god?
Well, Wyrme, you should know the gods, they left. Long ago. Before your father's father was born. At least that's what my father told me.
I thought that is where your powers come from.
I know not exactly where my powers, as you put it, come from. My gifts just manifest. I don't ask where. I just use them as best as I can.
You don't feel any connection. Whatever they poisoned us with has blocked you, both you and the...
I have been meditating and focusing my will, and I have been unable to break free as of yet. Would I maybe be able to make a medicine check
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Massive. Look at that.
Oh, holy, that's impressive.
Welcome to Saber Dice.
Well,
It wasn't the customary 4 though.
Yeah, it was only half as good.
I mean, a lot of the problems that you guys are having is that you don't have access to your your usual stuff. So it's becoming a problem for both you guys at this point. Is you're like, we know that there's something wrong, but the other problem as well, even if you knew what it was, you don't have the antitoxin or whatever anti-venom.
So here's my question, Will. Is it okay? So what I want to know is, do we think that it is something that might wear off? Like is there anything that we know of or heard of?
If you put your minds together and probably chat about this for a little while, you'll come to the realization that, I mean, it has to wear off at some point, so they have to give it to you again. You're knocked unconscious when it happens, so you're not exactly sure how they administer this. But it could be the food, could be water.
They might have administered it rectally.
It's highly, highly likely.
I kind of shift a little bit. No.
That's how black magic is practiced, you know.
I was unaware.
This food is too good to have drugs in it.
How are you eating that?
Well, I'm not now. I ran out.
Well, I think we should, if we can, I don't know, wait for the medicine to wear off, perhaps, or weaken.
Hopefully before the morning.
Hopefully.
Vadin is going to immediately stand up in his cell. He has a theory, and he's going to start running in place to try to help.
To sweat it out.
To sweat it, yeah. Just basically just work himself to try to get it, to make the poison work through him.
All right, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So he just starts...
A 6'5", 190-pound man starts running in place, so it looks as gawky as you think it does.
Montage moment. He's getting really buff.
Just doing pull-ups. Need to cut to a montage right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't have any tools on me, but can I examine the lock?
Go ahead, yeah. Right, roll me just an easy investigation check here.
That is a
biome.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
much better than a 4.
So much
5 times, in fact.
It's a pretty simple looking lock. They all are different. If you'll be able to look over at the one next to you, maybe Calium's in. They all have different keys, of course, and you can see that they haven't trusted the jailer with the keys down here, because you guys are. You guys like the badass of the rebellion. They haven't just left you with the idiot dudes and the bunch of keys. You would be able to pick these if you had your equipment.
So I'm gonna reach behind me and grab my towel and like flip it out and then like run it through my mouth and try and pick the lock with my towel.
All right, I love it. I love it. Roll me a sleight of hand
Fucking brilliant.
because it has to happen. It's canon.
Oh man, why can't I roll that 20 now?
Oh, fuck.
Gosh.
If only. You start like wiggling your tail in, but you realize you've got like the wrong Phillips, like you've got the wrong
flathead.
You've got the wrong screwdriver head on your tail, and it can't. Yeah, it's
Rocking an Allen wrench when he needs Phillips. It's
right.
Whoa, I have a question
Classic.
for you.
What is your question?
I've seen many lizards lose their tails and have it grow back. If you want, I'd be happy to rip the skin off and get down to the bone. Might have a bit more luck with that.
I am a kobold. I am not a lizard.
I meant no offense.
We're descendants of dragons.
Do dragons grow back their tails?
I don't think a dragon would dignify you with an answer to that question.
So,
is there any? What's in these cells? Is there anything in here with us?
there's the key. No.
No.
There's a pail of like dirty looking water. They haven't given you guys much any food. There might be some scraps on the floor. There's a couple of loose stones if you want to Shawshank this, but it looks pretty bleak. These guys did spend 2 years trying to capture you. They've done their homework.
Yeah, if there's a pail, Ajax might start trying to fashion a shiv of some kind, break off a plank or something.
All right, yeah, roll me like a stealth check to do that quietly and just to be
Gotcha.
away in a corner. Because Ajax isn't the stealthiest guy.
I am proficient in stealth.
Oh, really? Okay.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, shit.
22.
Big boy over here. Let's see. 22. Okay. I don't
Stealth
know about
barbarians.
22. Yeah, that is fine. You're away in the corner, just
Pretending to be asleep, kind of like
Yeah. So what's that strange motion Ajax is making with his hand over
just
there?
leave him alone.
You don't want to know.
That's how he deals with trauma.
He's whittling again. Yeah. So as you do that, a couple of hours have passed by this point. You guys are trying to get some sleep, whittling away, trying to work on these bars, figure out what's going wrong with you. Had a chance to figure out what's going on. The crowds outside can still be heard. There's like celebration in the city right now because the war is over. And so you can hear kind of fanfares, trumpets, people screaming. It's like a happy time. Of course, with the image of Marilyn Slait being blood-eagled up on a spike, it's a happy time in medieval times now the war's over. So as that happens, you see a slender woman in guard's attire step into the prison chamber itself. She, as I mentioned, a pretty thin kind of figure, to the point where she could be quite young. And she's got auburn hair, falls down to her shoulders, and she's wearing the same kind of guard's outfit that you see in the black and yellow heraldry of one of Sir Wenton's knights. She's not helmeted, so you can see her face, and it's pretty scarred and beaten up as well, pretty chewed up, a little bit like Ajax's portrait. Kind of cauliflower ear going on, messed up, probably taken a mace or two to the face in her time, and so that there's that like veins where they've been like destroyed and kind of like show up as black and blue constantly on her face that never go away. And she steps towards the prison guard and she says, "Guard, these prisoners, what are they doing here?" And he stands up and goes, "Well, they're here because they're the... Do you even... Who the hell are you, love?" And she says, "Well, you've got them in the wrong cells. Come here." And he's, "Oh, okay." He comes over towards her. She gets out this note as if to show him this piece of paper. Clearly, they're in the wrong. And with her other hand, she gets out this needle, about yay long. And as he comes over, she brings him in towards and places the needle through his eye socket. Like so. And he's falls down, slumps down, and she carefully, almost like with a loving embrace, like holds him down to the ground, as if she's in a dance and lowering her partner down. And as she does so, she gives him a little kiss on the lips, and puts her hair behind her ear and looks towards a group of you.
Well, that was creepy.
She has the needle in her hand playfully. "Oh, was it? Sorry. Oh, that was weird. Oh." I did it again, didn't I?
No kisses for me. I'm married.
Really? Oh, well, that adds a little element of danger, don't you think, Wyrme?
No, that is quite all right, but I could really use that needle.
Oh, I bet you could.
Yeah, who are you?
Less about that. Let's get you out of here, first of all, and we can properly become acquainted. Now, and she goes into Ajax's lock and just with the needle brings it out, and it kind of falls down to the ground. She opens it with a flourish.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah,
She looks over to Wyrme. I am.
Ajax, he's watching her hips and her hands,
Mhm.
and is assuming it's some sort of assassination attempt by
Yeah,
a
let's
faction
just
in
don't lie.
court or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's not going to miss this opportunity to try to get out.
Absolutely. She goes to each of your cages and just through the lock with that needle. Still blood all over it, because it's like it went further than just the eye socket down into the back of this guy's head into his brain. And she kind of like wipes it on her sleeves, like so. Horrible. So, gentlemen, rescue mission. That's what we were doing. Rescue mission. Yes. We must get you out of here.
So Wyrme will
Sounds
quickly
like a plan.
look at her arm as she wipes it, looking for more marks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You see her like all up her sleeve here. There are two marks. She goes once and turns it around twice. And she's done once and then twice, and once and then twice. She's killed 3 people.
Very busy, very efficient.
Thank you. I try, Government business these days is so inefficient.
Couldn't agree more. I commend you on your civility in disposing of our guard.
What was the guard? The guard had that piece of shit sword, right? Was it a short
He
sword?
did, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk over and just take it.
Yeah, she has no real sense of urgency about her. She stands quite placidly looking at you with these kind of jet green eyes. Now, do you have a way out, or should we... No, we shouldn't come back the way I came through.
I assumed that you had an exit strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know where they may have taken our equipment?
That's probably long gone at this point. Let's have a walk around.
Are you here alone?
After you.
No. How many?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Dozens? Hundreds? 3?
Somewhere between 3 and thousands, yes. I'd imagine, at least. She looks around the ceilings of the prison. Yeah. She walks towards the door.
After you.
Yeah, I'll follow behind her about 10 feet or so.
Wyrme slinks along, practically like an animal moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be right on her heels.
Yeah.
Vadin will follow her.
Okay. Now, you're fairly certain at this point that you're following this crazy lady through the prison itself. She is going quietly. Would you guys like to roll me some stealth checks?
27.
My second roll is a 3, so that makes a 5.
That's
That
impressive.
would be an 8, sir.
Dude.
Gentleman's 8.
12 for Ajax.
Oh, and he's got that little whittled shiv thing as well.
Yeah, he's got it like in his palmed in one of his hands.
Yeah. So one of them, who's that? Wyrme on the 8 there, and yeah, all right. Vadin on the 5. You guys are trying to kind of,
Just plodding along, just stomping heavily.
yeah.
Be very, very quiet.
Oh, little
give you a
Jogo leaked
stern
out.
Little,
Dave.
little jersey in that. Jogo.
You'll see a couple of the 2 of the guards at one point will spot the 2 of you and the group of you, therefore, as you're kind of sneaking through, and there are other kind of prisoners who you're trying to shut up because they're like, break us out, get us out of here. She ends up she's like playing a game of darts with that needle, she's going for that 180, and she's once into the eye, moves swiftly in towards him with a step that could only be magical. This is something that Calium would definitely be familiar with, is his mist abilities. She basically kind of almost vanishes for a moment, appears right next to him. As he's falling back, takes out the needle, presses it into the other guy's eye.
Was she miswalking?
She wasn't miswalking, no, but it was definitely a form of magic.
Okay.
She looks back and she's like, really must be more quiet. Look for an exit around here.
Okay. Are these guards armed?
Yes, they also have short swords. And they wear like a chain shirt. If anyone would like to equip themselves at all.
Yeah, I'll grab a short sword.
Yeah, I'll grab a short sword as well if they've got that. I don't think I want to take the time to put on some armor. So do we have, like, are there any exits around here?
Yeah, you guys can roll me a quick investigation or perception checks. I'm easy. This woman does not seem to be looking around.
21 investigation.
Very nice, very nice. So you're down in the cell.
Oh my gosh. I'm not saying shit because the finale for me last week was so awful.
Same here, man. Same here.
It's dimly lit as well, right?
Pruitt's like, I'm going to be an awesome Massima. And he's like, I see that.
Not in my wheelhouse. Obviously not in my wheelhouse right now.
I'm a high elf. Like I feel like I can see pretty well. What do we got going on?
Yeah. So yeah, please enough needles. So yeah, you can definitely take a look around, Calium. There are 2 doors leading upwards. That would lead you above ground again. Could be dangerous. Could be barracks, guardhouses, equipment rooms, and the like. Okay.
So our abilities are they still dampened?
They are indeed, yes. And you will also spot on your 21.
21 investigation, yeah, 15 plus 6.
You will also spot that there is a trapdoor leading downwards, further downwards to who knows where.
It might be a way out. Old
Up.
Tunnels.
Up into the streets, or further down below, possibly.
All those people in the street, they want to tear us apart.
Yes, I'm sure they won't recognize me.
But why would they have a trapdoor in a prison for easy escape access?
It's probably a trap.
I don't think we're supposed to leave the cells.
No.
Well, being prisoners would preclude us from them wanting us to leave.
Can you at least take a peek down there, Calium? See if...
Certainly. We don't want to go too far and then end up in a wine cellar of some sort, trapping ourselves again, though. So I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
You look down.
Yeah, I'll pop down below.
There is a dark hole leading. You got dark vision 60 feet?
I do.
It's dark hole leading down 60 feet, at least. Beyond that, you can't see anymore. I mean, this might be some kind of garbage chute. It's in a weird place to be a garbage chute. It could be a toilet function. Seems odd.
Can I make a history check to see if I know if I can recall any escapes from this particular prison?
Yeah. You Ocean 11 this. You got the blueprints. Roll me a history check.
23.
23 is pretty damn good. There is no trapdoor in the blueprints of this of the main prison of Ostwald. So whatever this is, it is not in the official documentation.
I am quite confident that this is not supposed to be here, at least on the books. So perhaps this is a way out, but it is dark, there is no light, and it is farther than I can see. What do you wish to do?
I would take my chances down below than on the streets where we'd be recognized and overpowered.
If those in power have kept this hidden, then it could be a way out.
Gentlemen, I will not be taken again. I will not suffer what General Slait suffered.
No. If we're cornered, we will sell our lives dearly.
Then let's make haste.
Let's go down the dark hole, shall we? This sounds like a lot of fun. Ooh, 4 boys, dark hole, let's go.
Let's go.
Am I the only one with dark vision that can see here? No, I mean Kobold.
Kobold can.
Yeah,
Asimar has dark vision.
Yes, it does.
So it's just Ajax is having trouble seeing down any more than 20 feet. But I mean, you got, even Calium with the dark vision, you're like looking down and it goes further in your dark vision. So it goes into even darkness.
I'll lead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just have my hand on somebody's shoulder who has dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
I'll offer up a tail.
Okay, that's good. Ajax will take Wyrme's tail.
All right. As you leave, the girl will go last, and she puts her hand kind of in a Jedi gesture above the trapdoor as you guys are leaving through it, and a stone floor will appear above as an illusion as she goes, yes, she says as if just remembering something, and we'll head through the tunnels with you guys.
So what do we call you?
Oh, needy.
Needy?
No, I mean you.
Just.
You could call me needy.
I will just call you Needles for now.
Needles, yes, needy. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yes, you can call me Needles or Needy.
Needles works for me.
You have lovely eyes.
Ajax kind of like doesn't say anything, but just is constant. Tries to always keep her in his field of vision.
Yeah. She kind of saunters along with you quite merrily.
Needles, where are we headed? Once we reach the surface at some point, I'm hoping.
Yes,
You have a alcove, a group.
Yes, there is an outpost that I'll take you all to, and we can chat more comfortably there.
And who is the Lord? Who's the Landgrave at this particular outpost, so to speak?
Well, I'm not really sure if there is one. I mean, more of a collective, I'd say, really. Yes, but don't worry. You've all been contracted in now that I've saved you, so it'll be fine.
Contracted
what?
in.
I didn't just save you because you're nice. No. So no, that was cute though. But no, we need you. You're needed. It's nice to be needed, like me, Needles.
Yeah, Ajax is contemplating seeing. I don't know. He's seen her kill. It's pretty effortless, but he's like,
Calium is trying to just observe. That's it. He's just trying to speak little and just soak in what she's saying.
Yeah.
My friend, perhaps what she's saying will make more sense when we get someplace where you can see.
If. Let's press on.
all right.
So yeah, you're heading through this tunnel. You've been walking about 10 minutes or so, and you're going to end up walking for the best part of 2 hours through these tunnels with seemingly no end. This tunnel is extensive, and you have no idea what function this tunnel would serve in a prison. Seemingly none. Like, why on earth would you have a 2-hour-long tunnel, which must go on for miles?
Is it just a straight tunnel, or is it like a maze of tunnels?
It bends. There are no other exits or entrances, though. It is a singular tunnel.
Okay.
It looks like it has been built by man. It's just handcrafted. This isn't just a mud tunnel that you're walking for.
I don't know about you guys, but I think this is very poor design.
Could be an escape route for the royal family in case of a coup or something.
Ajax, I
Through the prisons?
Does it look like it has been built in the last 2 years since the War of Thorns? Or does it look older than that?
Yeah, right. You got any I guess history, isn't it?
I mean,
Especially if you're a dwarf.
I got history, or I've got investigation. I mean,
Yeah, roll over those. I'm easy.
all right, +6, 8.
Tough to tell. It looks fairly new, but it's dark
Okay.
down here. So it's like, yeah. She, Noodles or Needy, heads along with you guys until there is another trap door after about this 2 hours of walking. Well, that was nice and easy, wasn't it? Almost too easy. I'm kidding. It's always easy.
It's gonna be a long, fun season.
Yeah.
So another
Ajax
trap
he's
door
just
going
waiting for a
down.
reason to put this short sword through her throat.
I'm gonna peek it.
Yeah. You see the outside.
Out of town? Are we in the wilderness?
You
Foothills?
pretty sure you're out of town. You look up, you see open sky. You don't see any buildings in the little crack that you have open.
The light, the burns.
I'll throw it open and hop out.
All right, you hop up, and you see a series of tents in an encampment. They're kind of like green canvas tents, and there are 5 or 6 individuals who move towards you as this happens. Now, they don't appear to be aggressive towards you. They're certainly not wearing any heraldry. They look kind of like wastrels and vagabonds like yourself.
Can I access the mist?
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
+0. 2. Fuck me.
It's like we're rolling D10s, man.
You're like, and now I get out of I use my. Oh, shit. It's not coming to you, but it's close. It's close. It's like trying to turn the ignition on your car. It's like do 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 do, and then dies.
Will, would you allow me a wisdom save?
Absolutely, I would. Same goes for Wyrme. You have access to magic, right?
A little bit, tiny bit.
There you go, buddy.
Hey!
There you go.
18.
How does it
All
feel,
right.
man?
Oh my god. Oh well. How does it feel? Do I feel the magic rush back into me?
It is very much like that. It enters rectally. No, the magic. I mean, it's not like magic in this world. I suppose it doesn't feel like warm and comforting and magic. Yay! I can now cast prestidigitation and fireworks come out of my hands. It's a cold, seeping weight that you bear. Magic is a burden and a gift. So it's kind of like that. It's almost depressing to have it back.
Yes.
It's like, this thing that I have to deal with again. But at the same time, it's like, thank God. And what do you roll there, Wyrme?
I got a 2.
Okay, yeah, 2. Yeah, same as Calium at the moment. Trying to get that flame burning again. The individuals, there are 5 or 6 of them, and the leaders is alongside them. One of them is a fairly old gentleman who's in this kind of rickety wooden chair. It looks almost like a wheelchair. They've got like little wheels on it, but it's by no means like a modern wheelchair. They've just managed to fix like a kind of like an old wagon wheel onto it, so it kind of rolls along quite ricketedly. And the others, look to be within their 30s or so, men and women. And they're all wearing these kind of overalls and shawls. And Neil says, here we are. Home again.
What's the terrain look like around us?
Yeah, you can see the capital. You can see the huge bell tower of Oswald off to the north. So you are somewhere south of the capital city, somewhere in the wilderness, basically. You're not sure whose province you'd be in, what member of the 100 owns this patch of land, because this is enemy territory. You're still deep within enemy territory. Oh, I guess the war's over. So everywhere's enemy territory now. But there is a little circle of trees, which the camp is in. So it's a little bit hidden from the outside, you'd suspect.
Okay.
You guys have made camps along the side of the road before, and you know how to not be well seen from the main road.
Gotcha.
The gentleman in the chair, he looks towards you with a softness in his eyes, a kindness. You have all seen so much pain. I am sorry for your loss. We heard the news.
It was quite horrific.
It is a tragic day for those who sought freedom.
Yes. Well, your war brought strife to us all. have to say a part of me is glad that there will be no more bloodshed.
Yes, the scars will be felt and seen for quite some time.
He nods, and Calium, you definitely get the sense that this guy has some elven heritage, some elven blood in him, probably why he's so old and still alive.
You said your war.
Yes, I took no part in the war. That was not my task, nor will it be now.
And yet, we are needed, apparently. So tell me, why are we needed? And who needs us, specifically?
Very, very good questions. Now, I hope that our friend here has not dissuaded you from trusting me in any way, but I understand that, Addie here can be a little bit, and she says, feisty.
Talented.
Yes, talented is a good word.
And bold, courageous. And she starts going off on a list of adjectives, almost under her breath at this point. Yes.
She is also quite verbose.
Yes.
Wyrme begins slinking around her chair, or his chair, and examine it.
With some tools and some time, I can fix this for you. Can make it better.
That would be very much appreciated. Now, you are at a disadvantage. I know who you are, but you do not know me. My name is Adarian. And he does tries. He can't bow. Just
History check! That's gonna get... I'm asking. Can I have one?
the glory. Yes, go ahead.
Cool. +6, 11.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Pretty sure your second cousin was called Adarian or something like that. Maybe it was Darian. Maybe it was Daryl. You're not sure.
A couple other brothers named Daryl.
Yeah, it was his brother, actually.
He's not a 100, is he? I mean, I'm pretty confident he's not a 100.
You're confident that you haven't heard of him in any form, and if he's a member of the 100, he's like the 1% of the world's richest elite. So he wouldn't be in it.
He would have a better chair for sure.
He'd have a black chair.
There was a war. Some of the 100 died, right?
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
My name is Adarian. It is an honor to meet the surviving members of the War of Thorns. I represent a group whose interest lies not in the war that you have fought, but you are too valuable to us to let you face such a terrible, terrible fate as Marilyn did.
Shame
that was
you couldn't
quite
get to us
terrific.
earlier.
It will be impossible to forget that fate that she suffered.
He nods with a sadness in his eyes. Let us speak in private. The others in the group kind of disperse back to their tents, and Needy begins to trundle him in the wheelchair along with you guys. You're kind of walking and talking, as it were. And the Darian says, "Now, as you must be aware, ones of your kind are rare. I say your, I mean our. Those who can access magic, manifest entities, and manipulate the forces of shadow in this world. We are few. And I understand," he looks towards Ajax, "that you are not one of those, but it seemed unfair to leave you to rot in that jail as well."
See,
you.
Ajax, I've always said you're better off for knowing us.
I've never doubted the value of your companionship, Wyrme, just your bravery.
And as Moody's trundling him along, she's going at what can only be described as an uncomfortable pace for this man, as the wheelchair is like dum 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 dum, and she's kind of like really rolling him along. She's clearly enjoying this. He says, "Now, you might not be aware of this, but you three are what we call gateways. You can access magic and But magic comes into the world through you. It's a symbiotic relationship. You draw from its power, but at the same time you release it into the world when you cast magic. It works. This means you can access the elder ways, but many of us have been forgotten, or worse. In fact, we have been hunted near to extinction. There are groups who move against us. There has been a war waging far longer than your own War of Thorns for millennia now. Our people have been fighting and dying for centuries. We were once great in number. The world was filled with magic, but now we are the remnants left here in this camp.
All of you in the camp have the magics?
That's right. They're the last that I've managed to scrape together in our merry band. And well, with you as well, we have almost doubled our number. You can see how dire things have gotten. I'm going to tell you something.
Against.
I'm going to tell you a few things that are going to be hard to get your heads around. It's difficult.
With that, Wyrme will just like start rubbing his chest and be like,
I think it'll be acceptable.
Needy says, "You're going to blow their minds, Granddad." He said, yes. They are going to be fucked up after this. Everything's going to change. And she watches you intently for your reactions, and it's really not that exciting. I can't live up to the hype. Now, we are a group known as the Shattering. To understand that entirely, there are 100, correct? And the one who leads them is the Emperor. Once there was just one. We never had the 100 before. But we made sure that the balance of power within the world was checked. There were balances. There were 100 to counteract the Emperor if one was too despotic or if one was too weak as well. The 100 were there. However, Godfrey has grown in such power and has allowed corruption and evil within his kingdoms, the likes of which you have been fighting against for years. That same corruption, it is bad for our people. All peoples of this land, magic users, peasants, lords, nobles, all suffer, all die. Our group is set upon the balance of the world, and we are the caretakers of the seat of the Emperor. I know it's not much. We used to have far greater halls, chambers, until we were ousted from them. These must sound like the mutterings of a mad old fool. But listen, you must listen. We can control who is the Emperor. It is a host, that body of Emperor Godfrey. The reason why he can live for hundreds, thousands of years is because the soul changes. When one despotic ruler gets too strong, we replace him with a new, kinder individual that we have found. It would have been the case that we had changed this years ago. Were it not for Godfrey allying himself with our ancient enemies, the Order of the Chalice. They are a group of ancient vampires drawn from a bloodline so chaotic and mad that it tears at the very fabric of our reality. They have been butchering us in legion across millennia, and Godfrey has aligned himself with them so that we have been ousted from our halls and our seat of power to control the throne has been taken from us. What I'm telling you is not that we can kill the Emperor, but we can bring peace to these lands. If we can find a good soul fit to rule it, and if we can take back our halls, we can change this world. Now, I don't care for your war. I don't care how many battles you fought, how many generals you slew. What's important to me is that you stood for something, that you care for these people. The poor people who have been overlooked in this world. I believe with your help that we could do some good. And Needy is looking at your faces like, yeah, mind's blown. She looks really smug, crosses her arms. Yep, I knew it, Granddad. You did it again.
Like,
Did you say vampires?
I did, yes.
I'm not so sure about this. And what about these portals?
Portals.
Didn't you say something about portals in the beginning?
Wyrme, I believe he said we were gates for the magic to pass through into this world.
Oh, you're speaking in metaphors.
For one so short, I'm glad it didn't go over your head this time.
all right, Elvadine.
I want to survey how big the camp is. Like, I want to look. I want to see, like, okay, I've soaked in what this old man had to say. I want to look around. These are all the magic users that they've gathered and gathered and gathered and gathered and gathered. How many do they number?
There are 5 of them. Plus Needy and Adarian, who's in the wheelchair.
You said there are 500 of them?
5 singular.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So, I mean, all Ajax really heard was the oppressed people of the world are still oppressed because their lives are controlled by magic users.
Yep.
He's kind of also eyeing Needles, and she seems very enthusiastic about this. She's very, do I have that?
Yeah.
Did I read that right?
She's into it. She's into this whole thing. She seems into this.
So are you expecting us to do something about vampires?
Yes. In a way, yes. I realize that sounds like a bad pitch now. I probably should have.
How long exactly how long ago did they depose you?
Well, the war has been waging for some time. Yeah. During your War of Thorns is when they struck. I've been deposed from our halls for the best part of 6 months now. The worrying thing, the truly worrying thing, is that they may be working on placing their own individual into power, which could mean that we face even more dire times than we have experienced in the past few years.
What happens if no soul goes into this host?
Quite frankly, I don't know. Which is what scares me the most. It could be harmless, I suppose. And Needy goes, or it could tear apart our world. She goes, more likely. Or it could allow all sorts of strange magics to occur. Honestly, it's all to play for.
So does the wizard hold some sway over the weave of magic in general? Is he a gate, as you call it?
Indeed, yes. You see my predicament, then.
Yeah.
So what exactly is it you wish us to do? Our freedom has been bought and paid for, but what is the price?
Yes, I have paid services to free you from here. However, I wish not to burden you. I will not force you into doing anything that you don't want to do.
Oh, good. I have a business to run.
By all means, go back to your homesteads, your villages, your castles, and live your lives as you would to their fullest extent. But this is more of me begging for help.
Oh, that reminds me.
And Needy says, and I will kill you if you don't help my granddad.
I believe her. I believe her. Adarian.
Yes.
I'll fight for you if it means revenge against those who have dealt us such a humiliating defeat. But I don't like it. This business of needing to keep the Emperor alive or have someone inhabit its host.
But imagine a good
Empires.
soul in charge.
And I reckon you're the one to decide whose soul that is. And I look over at Needy.
Yeah. Needy's like, oh, don't put me in charge. I would destroy everything. Like everything would go bad. No, not me. Granddad could do it though. He's a good judge of character. And he's kind of like
a good judge of character, or he is a good soul.
he like puts his hand to it, like, you know, face palms, and he's like, I am not the one. No, I am too old. I have sinned too much. I fear I would be useless in such a position. No, I quest to find one worthy. Or perhaps we'll just have to make do with someone else. That's the spirit, Granddad. She like slaps him on the shoulders.
I do not think we can go back anyway. Besides, this needles will kill us. But I do not think there is anywhere to go back to.
I agree, Wyrme. I think if we were to go back to our homes, then those neighbors seeking to gain some reward would sell us out.
For those of us who actually have homes to go back to.
See,
perhaps
exactly.
the marshes.
Adarian, I cannot... You said I was a gateway. I could access the elder ways, as you said. Something along those lines. I'm having issue. I cannot access the mist. It is
Don't worry, my
foreign to me. I do not feel its
To all
burden.
of us at one time or another.
Has it lasted for longer than 6 hours? If so,
I do not remember.
Well, it's most likely it has. Don't worry. I will cook you up a little remedy that should clear your mind.
Should we need this again in the future? Is that something that you could provide?
Of course, yes.
If you provide me with the recipe, I could recreate it. I am trained with herbs.
Very well. Then let's start a little campfire and settle down for the night and discuss our plans more on the morn. Let me introduce you to the...
Elvadine will throw a subtle firebolt at the nearest campfire.
Boom!
And there's no magic left in the world.
Without moving, just kind of appears and just...
Yep, absolutely. And the campfire settles down. Adarian will show you the recipe for the concoction. It will clear your minds. It's a pretty clear-looking kind of liquid. You down it, and your feeling comes back. That kind of magical sense comes back within about 10 minutes or so. Yes, a subtle fireball.
Caps.
Oh, yeah. And Darian sits down. Needy kind of sits down by the campfire and just like holds herself, like holds her like knees up around the camp. And another gentleman who is also an elf will sit down by the campfire. He's got dark eyes and a long kind of silky white hair, and he starts some food on the fire. He will look towards Calium and say, "Greetings, brother. It is good to see another one of our kind here and safe." Indeed.
It is too rare these days.
I heard. In fact, I saw you fighting at the Battle of Howlester. I was not on any side, providing healing for the wounded and dead. Well,
I'm sorry I made your job so difficult that day.
well, carting the bodies away was a job in itself, but at least I managed to get one of the wagon wheels onto that wheelchair there. I will be equipping you and your companions. My name is Vin. Now, what will you be needing?
Blades. Short blades. And well-weighted daggers. If you have
Very
any.
well. Of course, yes. I have access to an armory. And he looks towards Wyrme.
When he says armory, Wyrme looks up. Armory! I need tools.
No, it just so happens that I've managed to get my hands upon some of your old tools. You see, when the band of knights were bringing them back in that old wagon of theirs, I managed to divert it, and, well, we laid a little ambush there for them. So, he goes into his tent, and he brings out your basic supplies that you'd have had on your person, basically. And any weaponry that you had on you, you can find a copy of. You carry these things in mass, and he kind of lays them down. He's got blades for you guys as well. He has armor as well.
Sweet.
Anything about as high as chain, this guy has. And any kind of basic or martial weapon can be found here as well.
So I kind of start like rummaging through I kind of like bolt between his legs into where he went into. I start rummaging around, and I'm looking for a plain sack.
Okay, yes. You find that plain sack in there, and Vincent says, "It's just a sack."
And so I grab that, and almost like a cat, I start like whirling around him and pawing at him. Oh, thanks so much, thanks. And I start, as I do that, I'm like reaching into the sack and just pulling stuff out and piling it up and piling it up and piling it up.
Yeah.
That's all here. Yes, excellent.
He looks on in wonder. Nice trick. I heard that you were legendary for a reason, Wyrme.
I'm small. It's hard for me to carry lots of stuff. I need this.
Needy looks over and says, "Can you make me one of those? Like, now?"
It's a little more difficult than that.
Why?
I do not have all the materials I need.
She moves towards you with the needle in her hand. Really? I feel like you could do it.
Maybe I have another one inside. Perhaps you should look.
She grins and she's like, "Okay, just kidding."
Yes, me too. I like you for a reason. I know it.
I'm gonna kill this bitch. Like, I'm gonna kill her so hard.
I think she's great. She's on our side, right?
Yeah, sure. I bet she is. Yeah, no problem.
Every time she acts up, her grandfather or Darian is just like, he apologizes. "Please, no, she's usually really good. She's not like this all the time. You'll get used to her." Constantly apologizing for her behavior.
So the last thing I pull out is this long, like, tubular object. And I start like lovingly caressing. You guys have all seen it before, but the camp probably has not.
Yes, this is what I've been looking for.
Wyrme, not in front of the ladies.
This will do nicely.
So, anyone else want to be up to anything around the camp tonight? I mean, I'm giving you guys kind of some free reign to either downtime or get up to some tricks.
Yeah, I wanna see if I can miswalk. That's it.
Yep, you can. You get your abilities back.
Ajax is going to pick out some gear for himself, the best armor that he feels comfortable in, and the biggest weapon he could find. But he's also going to take a moment to get like a backup, like a short sword or a dagger or something. And then I want him to walk the perimeter of the camp just for some solitude. He's been through a lot, and he wants to see how secure this place is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well hidden from off the main road, but if a determined scouting group were looking, they could definitely find it. It's far enough away from the capital to miss a lot of the usual roving bands of knights that might be going around. So you feel, if not safe, protected for the time being at least. But you wouldn't feel comfortable staying in this camp any more than a night and then moving on to another location, especially being deep into enemy territory.
Elvadine will go through and try to pick out proper accoutrement for him to channel. Now, did you say that they diverted our actual gear or just similar gear?
Similar gear. So if you had anything on your character sheet that you wanted, you can pretty much pick it up here for the sake of ease.
Okay. Then I find a crown and a staff. So that I look like my picture.
So if we do have downtime, I will gather my stuff back up and I will pull one final object out of the bag. And it looks like a metallic lobster claw, and I'm just going to be fiddling with that. Oversized lobster claw.
Nice indeed.
I want to go talk to Vin and see what's going on with this tunnel. This is still strange to me. I don't understand what happened.
Totally is, yeah.
Yeah, so Vin, tell me, how long has camp been here?
This camp, not long at all. And he's kind of like rolling up his sleeves. He's like skinning a rabbit or some game that he's hunted recently. And he says, not long at all, no. But your friend there, Darian, he is one of the most powerful spellcasters that I have ever come across.
So
you're probably wondering about that tunnel, right?
He did the tunnel himself.
Correct, yes. It will last for the day and then will disappear.
Has he done this before?
I believe that he has, yes.
Is that how you came to be in his service?
He gives you the look like he's been got. And he's like, yes, I was. After Howlester and I had fallen into the wrong crowd, I suppose the officials would say. Ended up here. My daughter, she had been lost to me. I was grieving, and I made some mistakes.
We all know that pain. But here we are.
Not to pry, brother, but I heard the tales. Is it true of your household and family?
Let's just say yes.
I understand. Now let's eat, shall we?
Yes, food sounds great. If Wyrme hasn't eaten it all, or Ajax.
So Ajax, you're like walking the perimeter of the camp, and behind you, you've been keeping an eye out, but you're looking out towards the city. Needy is like suddenly behind you. And she doesn't say anything. She's just kind of like standing just over your shoulder, looking towards the city along with you.
I'll just start talking to her. It's a pretty impressive trick you have there. Could have used that kind of stealthiness in the war. Where'd you learn it?
Oh, grandfather taught me. Yeah, taught me everything I know. Never had a father or mother.
Ever? Surely everybody has a father and a mother.
I imagine I had one, yes. I'm not sure what happened to them, though. don't care much for knowing.
I see. I don't really know my parents either, so I understand.
It's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Looking towards the city and the fires that are on.
In a way, impressive, certainly.
What is it about men that makes them behave the way they do?
Yeah, could be.
That big phallic bell tower there and all the knights pouncing around in their armor. I mean, overcompensating, right?
Seems that way, yes. I feel like they need to impress the cowering masses that they rule over.
Yes, the cowering masses. Hadn't thought of that. Why do they cower so, these masses?
Starved. Live in mud huts. Not free to live their lives as they please.
Was that you?
Until I joined the legions of that guy. Points towards the bell tower.
Oh. Oh. Wow, so you've come full circle then.
Yeah. He shows the place where he carved away the legionary tattoo he had on.
Yeah, she looks at that. Wow. So then you defected?
Defected. I'd been on the other end of one of these rebellions one too many times, and when the marshlands revolted, I knew what was in store for them, and I couldn't abide not standing with them in their struggle for freedom.
She nods and she gives you a look like you read as being fairly genuine. Well, there's more to you than meets the eye then, Ajax.
Ajax winks at her.
Whoa.
He's a little taller.
He's like, yep.
And she saunters back to the camp. So the night falls, and dawn will then rise the next day. Rosy-fingered dawn appears on the horizon, and Adarian is there as you break camp. Right, so we need to move, or at least get you on the move, at least. Now, our ancient halls lie at Sundered Point, far to the north of here. That is what I intend for us to reclaim. Now, there is one small matter before you head off there, and, well, learn what you can of our halls. There is another gateway we have learned of in the capital. She's a powerful caster and could be useful in our efforts. And now, I know it's incredibly dangerous for us to enter back into the city, but she fought on your side from one of the lodges. She, too, is one of the elder race, looks towards El. Her blood is descended from those of the ancient bloodlines. She is powerful. I'm not sure if you know her or not. Did you come from one of the lodges, Vadin?
No, I have walked this place alone, mostly, until I fell in with these fools and could not stand to see them suffer. So, I know nothing of my heritage proper.
You know, her name is Catelyn de Brig, which I'll post and Zoom for you guys for spelling. And he says, now, I can't rightly tell you to go back into the city to try and save one magic user, but if you so desire to, I felt it only necessary that you know that she's there.
Is she in need of saving? You said she fought alongside us. Is she to suffer the same fate?
She's in hiding right now. She managed to get a message to us. She is in the Brig estate. But the thing is, the guards are routinely doing sweeps nowadays for magic users, and if anyone tips them off, about Catelyn, then, well, she will meet the same fate as your friend Marilyn.
And Dorian, what methods are they using to detect us?
They have the method of stopping our power. It only makes sense that they have a way to detect it. I'm not sure the method of distribution of this, if they have turned magic users on their side, perhaps. But I do know this thing, that vampires can smell magic. And if Godfrey is working with the Order of the Chalice, it may well be that a band of them are on their way now.
You hear that, Ajax?
That is unsettling.
Well, we should be on our way. I don't know that everyone's spoiling for a fight like I am, but that doesn't mean we need to be foolhardy.
No, but a little blood to be spilled is never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing, brother.
So
As long as it's not ours.
Yes, because then I will have to fix you.
So, there was that neat tunnel trick.
Yes, I have the ability for 24 hours to create a tunnel. It's one of the gifts of the Shattering. I can get you into the city.
More than enough.
More than enough.
It will be there for a day, but no longer. If you tarry, then your escape will be gone, and I will not be able to save you other than relying on Needy to try and get you out of there.
Is Needy coming with us into the city?
Not feeling it, really. You know, it's a Tuesday. Kind of nice out.
I would have thought you would have considered it a fun time.
Well, but then there might be vampires, but then we could use the needles. What do the rest of you guys think? Do you want me there?
I think we're going to need to be less conspicuous.
You'd have to be quiet, Needy.
Perhaps it is best that you stay here in the encampment. Vin is in need of company.
You don't want me?
I never said that.
Fine, it's fine. I didn't want to come anyway. And she turns and sits down. She's always doing this, it's fine. Don't worry about it, she'll just do some needle things. It's all very stressful for me right now. Trying to be.
I hear that cross-stitching is therapeutic.
Yes, I have gotten her onto the most honorable form of Sudoku. But cross-stitching perhaps would be a boon. Truly one of the few blessings left in these dark lands.
It is my understanding that she calls you grandfather, though there is no blood relation. How did you come by Addie?
Yes. It was when she was but a babe. I took her from an orphanage. That sounds strange. The orphanage was a evil affair. A state where the children were coming to great harm. I sought to take a talented young individual out of there, though I fear the damage done to her as a child has affected her.
Well, how fortunate it is that you have collected such a talent. As well as ours, it seems.
She bears the scars, both physical and mental, from that time. It's best not to bring it up.
I would never.
So, he opens the trapdoor in the ground. This should lead you there. I made it while you were sleeping. I figured you'd go.
Should?
I'm sure it will.
Yes, it'll be fine. I'm sure of it. Pretty sure.
Well,
Let's do this.
Gentlemen.
If we're all ready, lead the way. Can you make it brighter in there?
Take a torch.
Take a torch.
Elvadine will light up the gem on his staff to give off a soft blue radiance.
All right. Very nice. And the party descend, I guess. Go ahead.
Before we leave, could Elvadine talk to Andarian and maybe he didn't really like not having power and would like to prevent that in the future. So did he have any more of the...
Yeah, he will give you each 3 of these vials for those who need them.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Hey, Will, somebody said you're doing that English accent really, really well tonight, so you're really on point with that.
Man. I've really been trying. Usually I sound like this all the time. This is my real voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we're in a stealth mission into the city. Ajax didn't bring any armor. He's just got his weapons with him.
Okay.
He wants to travel light and fast.
Yeah.
Standard, dig your way into the capital that you were almost executed at, wear a hood, kill some dudes, save the broad, and get out of there.
He's over there putting like ash on his
It's
sword.
classic fantasy right now.
Yeah, Elvadine will pull up his hood, and once we get to the city, he will, walk with a hunch, and kind of lean on his staff more.
Okay.
During the walk, I'm going to prepare 2 copper coins and give one to Calium, and the other one will go to L.
I have a coin.
You do.
Of
And
copper.
1 coin for glory.
You will be able to disguise yourselves with these.
Oh,
That's
well,
dope.
It will only last for 1 bell toll. But the 3 of us are a bit more conspicuous.
This is very true.
Have you seen Ajax's face? No offense.
It's fine.
Maybe
Thank
next
you.
time you'll duck.
The humans all look the same. How can you tell?
Thought I could wear them out. Get tired beating my face.
Thought wrong. Or perhaps you thought right.
Well, I believe that Ajax is still here.
Damn straight. I'll take a hooded cloak.
All right, yeah, good idea. Okay.
Yeah.
We are Robin Hood, Prince of Thieving this whole thing up right now. I can't wait for you guys to shoot the 3 arrows through the ropes of the hanging goat. Yeah. So Dibs playing Kevin Costner. So the
You can't use a British accent, dude. Sorry. You're gonna
I
be
know,
Kevin
yeah.
Costner. Sorry.
No, I get to do Freeman. I can do Freeman.
Boston accent.
There is the English villain in that. The sheriff.
Yeah,
Is, I can play the sheriff. Hell yeah.
that was his first role.
Yeah, there you go. It's pretty awesome.
Actually, no, Die Hard was. Sorry, Die Hard was. My bad.
Okay. Yes. Rest in peace. So the group you continue down a tunnel takes you about 2 eyebrows. I was just reading into it without there. Takes you about two flicks of an eyebrow to get back to the capital. A trapdoor above. Once again, after this travel. At this point, presumably you douse torches. You've no idea where in the city you guys are popping up.
I'll mutter some quick words and take on a peasant, guise of a peasant.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to follow his cue. Kind of look over, watch him change, and then it can make me human, I assume.
Just concentrate on the coin.
And I'm going to try to turn myself into a human that looks almost as close to Ajax with all the scars as possible.
I love it. Okay.
Just a little different. Just a little
You
different.
you look like his slightly more handsome brother or twin.
I don't know. What do you think, Jim Davis? We could be brothers, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Side by side now. Yeah.
I would do the same, but only uglier because that's just how I perceive humans.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's got like this really warped like cheek thing going on. Hey guys, I'm a human. So,
Three ugliest
Yeah.
dudes walk into a bar.
None of them get laid.
no one will suspect this subtle.
I'm really an elf.
Everyone's like, who the hell are these guys? These guys are so ugly.
So ugly.
You guys look like Noob from Rick and Morty. Right?
Oh man!
Nobody's making eye contact. It is the best strategy ever.
Yeah.
We're gonna run through guards, and they're gonna be like, "It's three of that guy."
We can just all go different directions, like Scooby Doo. Yeah, and I will just use the coin and turn into a like a shorter version, human version of myself.
Of course.
Boo.
You're not in the club, man.
Yeah.
Oh, what will ever we do? You're gonna be Vandermouse up in this bitch.
All right, so this strange-looking group of heroes exit into enter, I suppose, into the public restroom of what seems to be a bar or tavern. You basically climb up this little trapdoor, which is right next to the latrines. You thought you smelled something funny down there. And there's a couple of guys who are kind of relieving themselves as you guys pop out of the trapdoor, just kind of looking at you like, what the hell, man? Wow, you guys are uglier than me.
Latrine maintenance.
Oh, that'll explain it.
Rat catchers.
What?
Rats catchers.
He voids something.
I kind of
just-
I don't want to touch him with my hand, but I just kind of stick my hand out. He's been very sick lately. I would keep my distance.
Yeah, these two guys are kind of like, oh, get away,
Yes.
and they're happy for this latrine service to. Oh, it's Johnny English is what you guys have done. And they're just like, man, this is not my problem. You guys just out of here. And you can pretty easily head into a bustling tavern. Now you can hear the crowd and the thumping of music from behind the doors. I mean, it's like going into a club and then you come out and you can kind of hear the thumping of the music going on. You know there's a bunch of people there. Yeah, I feel the energy. Yeah, I feel the emperor. They're all covered in some mad shapes as open the tavern bar. Of course, this is going to devolve. And feels the energy. The problem being they're all celebrating the fact that you guys are going to be executed tomorrow and that Marilyn Slate's been murdered. So this is a celebration of your defeat, basically, and your pending execution. So it's very possible that there will be figures in here who would know what Calium, yes,
Calium.
Calium, thank you, Wyrme and Ajax would look like by sight.
Yeah, I think it's best to pass through the tap room as quickly as possible and maybe get someplace that's less crowded.
Yes, I concur.
Yeah.
Are you sure we can't have just a few? They're so drunk.
Oh, maybe later on the way out.
After you.
All right.
You, so you kind of, I love this pretty ridiculous scene where like, people are kind of like drinking and dancing, and you guys like dance your way through the crowds to like, look like you're part of the party. So you guys all kind of part your ways through this crowd. There are a bunch of knights getting roaringly drunk, a bunch of peasants getting incredibly drunk around here as well, all just feeling this bard who is banging out some absolute bangers tonight. Some of the club classics, the anthems.
Mrs. Pratt, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So the group you head out of the tavern. Now you come onto the open streets. People are out here in the streets celebrating. There's a lot of alcohol flowing. There's a lot of happy people. If you look towards the bell tower, you'll see that there's a huge crowd surrounding it and like a semicircle around it, and they are looking at what you can spot to be, even in like this quite far away at this point, what could only be the figure of the blood-eagled Marilyn Slait, who is up on the tower.
No
Now,
way to
you
get her
guys-
down.
It is
Yeah.
sickening to see the depths at which people will go.
So is she lit up pretty well? Like, is she staged pretty well, or is she just like
She's staged
it's a
pretty
thing that
well.
happened?
I mean, like, this is the singular figurehead of the revolution that's gone on for 2 years. They've put her up on the main bell tower, which is very well defended. There are torches around her to light her at night. This is going to be an edifice for probably some time.
Okay.
That's unfortunate, but well, that's
Which
just,
way? Who's got the map?
So yeah, you need to find the Brig household where Catelyn is supposedly. Now she'd be in the west side of town if you own any land around here and have an estate. It's definitely on the west side. So you know that much. You don't have a street or address, however. They don't have detailed city maps with each house and number on, as we would do. No GPS.
This plan seems very ill thought out.
So it's word of mouth. I mean, there are. You could probably ask anyone, and like, if you'd ask them where the Brig household is, they'd probably be able to point you in the right direction. That's just kind of how people find things these days. And remember as well, like, you'd probably only ever need to visit like the smith, the butcher's shop, your home, your place of work, and they're like the 4 locations that you ever go to. So travel isn't super important in a place like this. But presumably you guys will ask around a little bit, speak with some drunkards who will point you in that west side of town direction.
yeah. Who's good with people?
I can talk to people, sure. Yes, go up to the nearest person, like a vendor or whatever. They like give a little bit of a deception check, sure.
Sure.
So, where's the Briggs at, eh? You headed him, right?
As an Englishman, I am deeply offended.
Thanks.
He says, "Oh, call Wyrme, Governor," and proceeds to pour his tea, eat his crumpets, put on his flat cap.
Does he had a monocle, eh?
He says, "Well, if you're looking for the Brig household, that's on the west side of town, Governor."
Oh, no, Governor here. Just a peasant.
He nods. He nods understanding to everyone face value.
Don't be from fucking Texas and try to talk to an English guy with a shitty English accent.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Fucking
great.
wrecked.
I rolled a 25 on my deception, so.
He is buying this. It's like, wow, you got a really good accent and all. Just like me. That's what we all sound like around here. If you go down West Street and buy one of the little reservoirs down there, you should be able to find the Brig household. It's got a big sign on it and everything.
I appreciate your assistance. And then walk away.
Yes, of course. The signs.
So yes, it all makes sense now. The Matrix opens up before Wyrme. Yes, you, my good friend L, can lead them towards this location in the city after that. What can only be described as painful exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You lead the way there, and it's people have been partying through the night. The party is still going on, and you see the household. Now it's gated. And there is a guard, most likely privately hired guard, who is watching, who's not partaking in any of the drinks. He's got a short, graying beard, and looks to have seen some amount of service, most likely. He's ex-military and has now become a sellsword.
But there's only one guard?
One guard, yeah. And he's just kind of standing at the gates.
What's the street's street look like? Like how many people are around right now?
There are it's that one mission from Hitman where there's loads of people walking through the street. There's crowds are going through. This is a little bit quieter on the West End. They like to keep themselves a little bit more. But there are still people around. It's visible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it would appear that we need to bypass this guard, would it not?
Perhaps we could just talk to him.
That's what I was thinking. He's not in the black and yellow colors of Winton, is he? Sir Winton?
No, he would look to be a privately hired guard, most likely by Catelyn.
Maybe we could tell him we know that Catelyn is here. Well, allies.
Yes, I'll walk up to him and cast a subtle suggestion. Could you please go and fetch your lady and tell her that she needs to see us immediately?
Yes. He has to roll a save on this, right?
Yes, that's going to be a wisdom save, DC 15.
Let's see. He rolled an 8. He nods and says, "Hey, I'll get right to it," and turns on the spot, enters into the house, returns a minute later. "She asks who you are. I forgot to ask."
Friends.
"Friends, okay. Think I understand. Come in, gentlemen. But by all that's holy, you guys look ugly as fuck."
I got a smile over at Ajax. I agree. We do.
We look like all the other peasants.
Yeah, he nods. "Get in quick before anyone sees you." And he lets you inside the estate, closes the door behind you, and enters with you as well. He says, "Now just wait down here a minute. The lady will be down to see you in a wee bit, okay? Make yourselves at home. Grab yourselves a fucking tea or, I don't know, ale or wine or whatever she has here. Just don't steal anything, because then I get in trouble."
We would not think of it.
What do we look like? Stereotypical criminals?
You look ugly enough to need to steal.
That is a fair assessment.
That voice is kind of shady as well, but hey, it don't even matter too much. And you hear a set of footsteps above. I just come down now. And down from this staircase, kind of spiral staircase, you see Catelyn the Brig. She is in her mid to late 30s. Black hair, which is tied back in a kind of practical way to keep out of her eyes. And she has her sleeves rolled up, and she's wearing a shirt not unlike the one which I'm wearing modeling today. And she looks, pretty practical, to be honest. And she's got like kind of dirty hands that she's wiping off. "Oh, thank goodness you're here. You must be the help, right?"
Yes, we are here to help.
I want to drop the disguise. I'm going to drop the disguise. I'm going to go elf.
Nice.
She never go full elf.
You went full elf. Awful movie.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that later. So we're gonna have a conversation about that, Cody. Now, she looks at you as you drop the disguise and says, "Calium the heiress. You bastard." And she gives a wry grin. She is clearly one of the elder race as well. She is clearly one of El's kin, one of the Aasimar. It's good to see you, and I suppose this must be the rest of you.
Suppose? How do you know us?
Well, you are a little bit renowned in these parts. I keep my fingers on the pulse, as it were. And, well, I needed help, so I turned to a Darian.
I see.
Now,
does anyone know of your status?
I believe that they do, yes. I recently had a former servant. The guard goes, "Hey, he was a right twat, that one." And she says, who, well, turned me in, as it were, earlier today. He has since been silenced. I cut out his bloody tongue. And, well, he is in no state to tell on anyone anymore. But that being said, we don't have long. And the guard looks out of the window and he's like, "Okay, bad news is we may be about to be fucked. And that could be in any manner at this point because there's a bad one going on." And she looks incredibly distressed. She's a knight. And he nods. He says, "Hey, the black and yellow, we bastards are coming back." And if you look out the window, you see there's a band of 5 of them moving towards the house, kind of marching in, you know. They've got that Ponzi march that they all do.
Why is it you humans always equate everything with breeding?
Like everyone takes a breath to consider that question and then moves on. No, I'm above this. And she says, "Buy me some time."
Right.
And she runs upstairs. I need to get my things.
When she stops, I throw her the coin. I call up to her, Catelyn, and I'll throw her the coin.
She grabs it and rushes upstairs, and you hear her.
That's not going to help her anymore.
It's not going to help me either. The dead bastard's about to enter into this place.
Oh.
So we get to kill him? Oh, great. We never get to kill him.
Yeah, we should do it inside where it's quieter, I think. Draw them in.
Oh, there's not going to be anything quiet about this.
As I pull this long barrel tube out of the pouch.
It's like heavy.
All right, then. He'll draw his steel.
Just imagining a hairless rocket raccoon right now.
Right. We could maybe at least fight them where they're not going to immediately run outside, because they're a...
I tell you what, you guys, you hide in the back, I'll lead them in. We'll kill them inside nice and, get some blood on the carpets and all that. I never liked the white in here. It needs a bit more red, if you know what I'm talking about, lads.
Yeah, all right.
Is there any, tables, even if they're end tables or coffee tables? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a nice coffee table in here.
So I totally flip one on its side and get behind it.
Yeah, he's like, "I always knew I had to call him to be a fucking interior designer." As he draws his sword, and he places. He draws his sword, but he's kind of got it by the side as he's going to open the door, and let them in. So you guys go to the sort of back room area. I mean, there's a kitchen back here. There's that kind of lounge room where the kobold Wyrme is at the moment, and these 5 knights are approaching the door, and you hear a dum 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 dum. "Open up! It's the Emperor's knights."
I lean over to Ajax and the rest of the guys and say, "I've got the one in the back."
Ajax will nod, and you can already see that he's got that stare that means he's just getting ready to go about his business.
We're gonna do this.
Ajax is going to do the crazy thing again. I can see it in his eyes.
The fun thing. He's going to do the fun thing.
He always does the crazy thing.
All right.
So as
Nod towards the guard.
yeah, they go, "Oh, lads, we were just expecting you for dinner. Come in." And he has his sword behind his back. Oh,
He Wonder Woman's it. He totally Wonder Woman's it.
yes, he does.
I kind of whisper over to Elle. Are you going to charm one first?
I could.
It's now or never.
I'll actually yell out don't need to. No, actually two. Yeah, I'm gonna twin suggestion the front 2 guards.
Ooh.
And kind of just say,
You want to
Can you please return to your homes and take a nap?
These guys like, you want to buy some death sticks? So they have to roll their wisdom save, right?
Yeah, wisdom.
On this suggestion. It's a 7, and this guy gets a 8 and a 7? Yeah, okay, brilliant. So the two of them are like, we should
You look tired. You should sleep. Back at your homes.
I am kind of tired, actually. And the ones behind them are like, you're on guard duty. We have to arrest a wanted criminal. You can't go back home and sleep, insolent whelp. And I feel kind of tired. But the ones behind him are like, they're clearly like, pushing them forward, right? The spell suggestion has put the idea in their minds, but the three behind them are like, you are not going anywhere, you fool. And at that point, the guard's like, well, it seems like the jig is up, my friends.
Let's do it.
So let's do a surprise round, because you guys are in waiting, and we want to show off some of your badass effects at this point. So let's roll some initiative. I will get your turn order rocking and rolling here.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
16.
Beautiful. Came on a 16.
Got a 19.
19 on the worm. I like it.
10.
Oh, okay.
Ajax got a 15.
15 for Ajax. So these fine gentlemen will roll their initiative as well. So we have our... Wow, I really have rolled terribly so far. 7. Alrighty. So our turn order is looking a wee bit like this. We got Wyrme on a 19, followed by Calium, Ajax, Vadin, and then the guards. The Emperor's Knights more truthfully, I suppose. So you have a surprise round. Wyrme is up first. You have line of sight on the first two. Maybe I was rolling a d12. Maybe I was. I was. Let's re-roll that again. Did I hear? Wow, this is my life. It doesn't matter what die I roll. It's like, no, you get a 5. You gotta roll a d3, you got a 5. Let's see. So Wyrme, it's your turn up here first. What do you want to do?
Okay, so are the knights that have suggestion on them, are they technically considered allies?
What's the reading of suggestion on that one?
Well, they won't attack, and it will stay as long as nobody makes a hostile act against them. But once you do that, it will break the suggestion.
But not their party, right? Just them?
Right.
Yeah. That's...
So technically right now, they're kind of annoying the rest of them. But...
That's saucy.
Because if they are not considered, then I would hold my action and let either Ajax or Calium go first.
Okay. All right. So, technically we wouldn't have a line of sight on the two behind them because they're, just in a doorway at this point. So you hold off to wait for the order, I suppose. And
Yes.
Calium, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to pop around the corner, and I assume I can get behind them.
You can indeed, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the square behind them is what I'm saying. They're in the door enough.
Yes.
Okay, well, I can mistwalk up to 40 feet, so I'm going to just and then up behind the one in the back, and I'm going to do awful mistwalker things. So 19 for 1d6 plus 5 for my initial attack, so 11.
Okay. 11 damage on the first guy.
Mm-hmm. And then that is a 17 for 1d6 plus 4 with my extra attack. So another 6. And then I'm going to use my bonus, which looks like it's going to miss.
Yes. Okay. So total damage there was... You did 11 on the first one. You connected on the second
11
one.
and 6, so 17.
17, thanks. Perfect number. All right. and you've mist-walked behind the first two.
I miswalked to the one in the very back.
Right
So,
back. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm between them and the door.
Okay, so you hit the fifth dude. Perfect. All right, that is that. Anything else you want to do at this point, Calium?
No, that's it, man. I did all my actions.
Yeah. All right, then. That takes it to Ajax. You see Calium going at it. Just kind of, and slice a guy in the back of the knees.
All right, so Ajax is going to approach the nearest non-suggested knight. And as he's doing so, he's just like focuses in. His vision kind of goes. He's just like the periphery, fades away as he focuses in on the fight and rages. Double handing my longsword, and so I'm going to attack the nearest non-suggested one, and we're just gonna butcher these fools right here.
All right.
So first one's gonna be 12 to hit.
12 is a miss.
All right, 12's a miss. Second attack, 21.
21 is a hit.
All right, 21 is a hit. Here we go. 9 plus 5, 14 damage.
That'll do it. Very nice. Okay. So you move into the kind of third guy in the line here, barreling past the first two, who are just kind of in a bit of a daze at the moment, kind of confused about what's going on, feeling a little bit sleepy, and describe to me how you deal a pretty wounding blow on the first guy.
So I guess my first swing bounces off his armor, and I follow up with like gripping the blade halfway, and then like try to get him right underneath the arms.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice kind of armpits. Yeah, nice. You kind of cut him open and, oh, bastard. Vadin. Your turn, my friend.
Okay. So I'm gonna move forward just a bit to try to get a better line of sight on. Can I get to see people through the door? Past the two that I have suggested.
At this point, there's a fair melee going on as Ajax is kind of carving a red swath through the group of them. So you can reasonably get line of sight if you were to step in the doorway of any of them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll step up and get a line of sight, and I'm gonna twin guiding bolt the two people that Calium and Ajax are fighting.
Okay.
So first one is an 18 to hit.
18 is going to do it.
So that's the one on Ajax. And then the second attack is a 25 to hit on the one on Calium.
That'll also hit, yes.
So the one on Ajax takes 14 damage.
Okay.
As a bolt of pure blue light shoots and hits him right between the eyes.
Wow.
Holy shit. And then the one on Calium gets 21 damage. As I bring my staff up to the gem in my crown and just kind of turn it slightly, and the one beam becomes two as it splits and hits the two people.
Roll me, no, in fact, don't roll me. Describe to me this near fatal blow on the one that Calium is fighting.
And I would say that I caught him right across the head and maybe clipped his eyes a little bit, so you can see it as it kind of burns one of his eyes away, and that thus giving advantage on the next attack on both of them.
Yeah, you fire this bolt and it just sizzles and burns away, melting his eye into a gooey puddle that's just dripping down his face right now. He's perfect. That's Vadin. So we're out of surprise. And in fact, I'll roll an attack for our guards companion as well at this point with a... Did they even roll? I got an 8 on that die, I think.
So Wyrme still hasn't gone yet. He had waited for the other guys to go.
Yes, Wyrme, would you like to act at this point? Feel free to go ahead and...
Yeah, I want to try and get a sight on the third guy that's not suggested and hasn't been harmed yet. Is he... I guess he's kind of between Ajax and Calium.
Yes, there is a guy who hasn't yet taken any damage and isn't suggested. He's about to swing in towards Ajax.
Okay, so I will draw a bead on him and get a 23 to hit.
That'll do it.
Wow.
Wow. Nice.
Boom.
Cover your boom.
Wait a minute, I know how to do that. I'm kidding.
And that will be 16 points.
16 points.
And then there's a roar of thunder as he takes piercing and thunder damage.
Yeah. What does this look like? I mean, most people in this world have never seen this sort of technology. It's famed.
Yeah. So this gleaming silver metal tube belts out a tongue of flame, it's like a foot, 2 foot long, and then behind it, quickly following behind it is a roar of thunder as a lead ball just takes this guy in the chest. Nice.
He's going and stumbles. So that takes us to our first actual round of combat, as you have cut into these guys, slicing through their ranks, and this is what you guys are best at. This is familiar territory. These guys are sword and board, bog standard troops, and it's only really by sheer force of numbers that they've really managed to win a war, because you guys are the 4 guys plus Marilyn who had any special powers. The rest are peasants with no armor and a pitchfork to fight against them. These guys are organized into an army, but when you get them alone like this, you've got them just where you want them. So I guess when you go, you rolled a 19, so I guess you get on round 1. Is that correct?
Okay.
Would you fall down to the bottom of the turn order? I'm not sure. Let's just go with 1.
Okay, works for me. So the guy I just nailed, I guess I'll go at him again.
Yeah. And with a double nail.
Hit him with the double nail. And that is a 24.
A 24 is going to hit it.
That's beautiful. Oh my god.
Or another 22.
Ooh,
so good.
Nice.
So good.
And that is on the one fighting Calium or Ajax, or is it the guy who you shot last round?
The guy I shot last round.
Copy that. All right, so 22 plus maths. We're getting there. He is also very close to death at this point. His heavy metal breastplate has been ripped asunder by this, and the shot is burning away at his skin because it's so hot. His molten lead has flown into him, so there's burn marks all over his chest right now. It's been opened up, and you've kind of cleaved away inside his breastplate and really torn that thing apart. Anything else you want to do, Wyrme?
He will duck back down behind cover. These guys are tougher than I thought.
Calium.
I want to. So I'm really hoping that there's a space for me to get to just mist walk 10 feet to get to the other side of this guy and get in between him and his friends. Can I squeeze in there in between him, like right in the middle of these guys?
Yeah, absolutely. You can move your way through this brawl.
So I'm just gonna Nightcrawler, come back up on the other side. I needed that extra bonus, so that's +5, so 18 for 1d6 plus 5, 8.
That is a hit.
Does that drop him?
8 is enough to kill this guy. Yes.
Awesome.
Advantage.
Oh well.
Great, get a guy involved. Shouldn't need it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna come back. And nab the next guy. And is that at advantage as well, Pruitt?
If it's the one Ajax is fighting.
You just killed the one that you were fighting before, so Ajax is fighting a guy. Yeah, you can have advantage on it.
So that's +4, so 17.
17 is dead on the money.
And then that's another 8 damage.
8 damage, not enough to drop him, but he's getting there.
And then I'm gonna use my bonus attack. Yeah, a 1. Oh, I guess do I get advantage on that attack, right? Too. So
no, it's only the next.
Okay.
It's only the next one.
Yeah, going both. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, no problem. So just pop up on the side, drop 1, come back, slash into the other one that Ajax is fighting as well.
Nice. You are cutting ribbons through these guys, and now with your powers returned to you, these people don't stand a chance. There's panic. There's a sense of panic amongst them as well as they realize who they're up against. So that is Calium. Ajax, it's your turn.
All right, so the one I was fighting is barely hanging on.
Barely standing. If you breathe him hard enough, he'd probably fall over and die.
We're gonna try to elbow check him or elbow check him with my sword.
Yeah.
So here we go. The first one, that's gonna be a 25.
Oh, baby, that's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's gonna be 7 damage.
All right.
For that one.
He dies. How would you like to kill him?
I mean, this guy, I stabbed him under his arm before. I think I'm going to come back. He's got Calium behind him. I'm going to slice him right across his throat.
Very nice. Very nice. He just falls down lifelessly to the ground. Vadin, you've got one of them who is still fighting. He's also incredibly wounded. Go ahead. Oh, Ajax, you got another attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I take my other attack against
you can.
the one that Wyrme has been shooting?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Back swing on him.
Kill steal this guy
Oh
as
my
well.
gosh.
21 to hit.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that's gonna be 13 damage.
And how would you kill this man?
I think I'm gonna drive my sword down into his clavicle.
Nice. I think you are as well. And you just bring that great sword down, and it like skewers him down into the earth. And the two others who are just standing there, I mean, you guys can do whatever you'd like.
They can go take their naps now. No one's in their way.
Take their naps.
Yeah.
Before they. Never mind. I'll save that.
Let's kill them very carefully and take their cloaks.
All right. Yeah.
I'm being very serious.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. At this point, feel free to coup de grace him in whatever grisly way you would like to do so, or keep him alive.
Ajax might blood eagle one of them.
Nice touch.
Yeah.
I like
certainly their corpse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Understandable.
Is that necessary?
He doesn't even hear Wyrme at this point.
Yeah. Bring him down the middle, in there, rip out the lungs, down to the arms, get those wings going up there.
Mm-hmm.
And just as the other guy's fighting back, I imagine Wyrme just like shoots him in the back of the head. And he just falls forward, falling, his clothes come off at the same time. His helmet flies.
Serious roleplay going on.
Yeah. And you are back with the guard. And he's like, you guys are fucking awesome. Okay, I don't know what the hell you just did, but that was badass. That was killer, man. We need more like you.
Ajax cleaning his sword and about to disguise himself as one of these knights. You're gonna join us too, I take it?
Hey, I will. We can find our way out of the city in these outfits.
Yeah.
I didn't get your name.
Yes, what shall we call you?
You can call me Graham.
Graham. It is a pleasure to fight alongside such a brave man as yourself.
Hey, what can I say, lad? Seen my fair share of fights, and this is a good one. He's starting to like suit and boot up. You can don the heraldry. There is one of them has been ripped apart by Wyrme's blast. Like the actual metal has been pared away. So that's not going to be good. But you can get the rest of the stuff from it, just not the breast.
Yeah.
Plate itself.
Yeah, just enough to fool a casual onlooker at least.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Are any of these uniforms salvageable that are just like bloody and ripped to shreds? Probably not.
You got a lot of blood on them. So they're gonna on close inspection, they're not gonna hold up. But from a distance,
Graham, do you have an extra set of clothes about?
I will commence casting prestidigitation to clean the soiled clothing.
You want to
get
take
out
my
of here.
pants? I mean, I got a fresh set of whiteys if you want them. If you soiled yourself, if you let yourself down.
Do I look like I soiled myself?
I could fix the tears and rips, but I do not think we have time for that.
You're an elf. It's always hard to tell. You guys can prestidigitation the blood and guts off of them, I
can actually mend the rips and stuff. But
Okay.
that being said,
I am going to look like the shortest knight ever.
yeah.
So Ajax doesn't have a coin and I don't have a coin. If we're gonna give that to her, so do you want to go in? Do you want to go in street clothes or do you want to go as two guards and then some other people?
I'm still in disguise.
I think as many of us should be guards as possible.
Okay.
There were 5 guards that came here. There's 5 of us plus her.
yeah,
Plus we have 3 coins.
I don't know how long it's been, but the disguise only lasts an hour, so and then the spell fades. And
I mean,
The coins are just copper coins then.
it could be if we're walking kind of in like a diamond formation that Wyrme could be in the middle and no one and it'd be more difficult to spot. Or if perhaps the lady is wearing a dress, he could hide under it.
Yeah, Catalin's like run upstairs. You haven't heard from Evelyn. You know, you heard like scurrying upstairs, and then there was.
Where has our hostess gone?
You look up the staircase, and a few moments later, she arrives. You see Catalin back. This time, she wields a staff in her hand, and there is a what seems to be a heart, a beating heart on the top of the staff, and blood is dripping down it over her hands and down her arms. And she says, "Thank you so much for the fresh corpses. It would have been much harder without them." And you see the blood-eagled body just begin to and move off from its position, and the 5 bodies begin to rise from the ground towards you. And that's all we're in for tonight.
Oh.
Holy fuck, as you humans say. He's a vampire.
Well, my friends, hands to the players as well. Great job, everybody. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for our season 2 premiere of Glory. Will Jones, you D&D sex icon, man. What a magnificent job you did tonight. Kudos to you, brother, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. So before we get out of here, we want to give a special thank you to all of our sponsors. So as you guys know, we don't... You know, if you guys want to support the show, the easiest way to do that is by supporting the sponsors. So you guys can check all the Twitch panels below and all of the YouTube descriptions and all the videos. We want to give a big thank you to ThinkGeek. That's an affiliate link that you guys see down there. So if you guys want to do some Christmas shopping, you want to pick up some new D20 Christmas lights, you want to pick up a D20 waffle iron for Christmas for your significant other, use that link. You'll be supporting the show, and we would appreciate it. Also, we want to thank Shapeways, which is the best place for you guys to get all of your 3D printing plans for all of your miniatures and dice and everything like that, and you can check that out below. Of course, Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice. Thank you to Fantasy Grounds for helping make the show possible. And all the maps that you see, even though you didn't see one here tonight, are created in Dungeon Painter Studio. So guys, go check that out. We're giving away 4 copies of Dungeon Painter Studio right now. So I'll put another link here and put that back in the YouTube description. Enter in the contest. It's free. You might win some awesome mapping software. Go do it. All right, guys, go do it. So that's it for me. You guys have anything you want to say to our fantastic audience?
Well, thanks for joining us, and as always, stay nerdy.
We love you. Oh, we love you.
I'm looking forward to next week. We will catch you guys very, very soon. Take care.